Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to dive into something pretty different. You ready for this? A book of bedtime stories.
Bedtime stories. Sounds a bit out of our usual realm, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but trust me, this is no ordinary collection. We're looking at the Adventures of Periwinkle Fae, 26 magical stories, hot off the press this past March 2025. What caught my eye, though, was the author credit.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
The intriguing duo, Claude Sonnet and Donald Firesmith.
Exactly. Now, these stories are a really neat blend. They've got this great action and adventure feel for kids, but they've also woven in classic folk and fairy tale elements, and there's this subtle exploration of social situations, all while highlighting these big themes like the power of nature and friendship and helping others, the good stuff.
And the really unique twist here, the book's origin story. Donald Firesmith, the human half of this duo, actually embarked on this project as an experiment.
Okay, now you've got to spill the beans on this. What kind of experiment are we talking about?
Well, Firesmith's co-author, Claude Sonnet, is actually described as a frontier AI chatbot. Firesmith was essentially curious to see what an AI could do in the realm of fiction writing. Initially, he had no intention of publishing these stories.
Wow, okay, so a chatbot co-authoring a book of bedtime stories. That's wild.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it wasn't just a case of, here AI, write me a story.
Right.
What was the actual process like?
You're absolutely right. It was much more involved. Apparently, Sonnet, the AI, was responsible for coming up with the initial plot ideas and even drafting the first versions of the stories.
So the AI was kind of the idea generator, the initial storyteller, but Firesmith had his work cut out for him after that, didn't he?
Oh, definitely. The stories went through extensive editing. Firesmith even mentions that the AI itself contributed to this critique process, suggesting improvements, which is pretty remarkable. Firesmith stresses that he considers himself a true co-author because of the significant manual effort he put in.
And I noticed that Claude Sonnet is listed first in the author credits, even though Firesmith was heavily involved.
Exactly. That was a deliberate decision. Firesmith acknowledges that the bulk of the initial writing was done by Sonnet, the AI.
That makes sense. It really raises some interesting questions about authorship in the age of AI. And speaking of creative applications of AI, this book also used AI for something else, didn't it?
The illustrations. And it wasn't just one tool. Firesmith used a whole array of AI image generation programs. Artspace.ai, DLE3, Deep AI, Google Gemini, even Meta AI, and Microsoft Designer. That's quite a mix.
Wow, talk about a tech-savvy approach to illustration, but I imagine trying to maintain a consistent visual style across all those different AI platforms must have been a real challenge.
And it brings up an important legal point, too. Firesmith mentions in the book that because these illustrations were solely created by AI, based purely on prompts, they're not eligible for copyright protection in the same way as art created by a human artist.
Interesting. So the text of the stories, thanks to Firesmith's substantial contributions, has copyright protection, but the AI-generated illustrations don't. Another layer to this whole authorship debate, huh? But let's get back to the heart of these stories. What we're really interested in exploring today are the recurring themes and those valuable life lessons hidden within these tales from the Enchanted Forest. And it's all seen through the eyes of Periwinkle Fae, this tiny, resourceful pixie. There's even a specific valuable story lessons section at the back of the book, clearly aimed at parents and teachers.
It's almost like Firesmith anticipated our deep dive.
Maybe he did. But seriously, we're basically distilling these big ideas, these little nuggets of wisdom in a way that's quick and easy to understand, which is perfect for, for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's start with one of the most prominent themes, community and collaboration. What better place to begin than with the Midnight Firefly Dance?
Oh yeah, this one's great. Periwinkle and her buddy, Milton the Field Mouse, they have to rescue Grace. She's a firefly, a choreographer actually, and she's stuck in a spider web. But here's the thing. It wasn't just a simple rescue mission. They used dewdrops, imagine that, to amplify the light from the other fireflies, to scare away the spider, saving the big annual light show, which is apparently super important for the forest's magic. Talk about thinking outside the box, right?
It's a brilliant example of community collaboration, isn't it? Periwinkle, with her deep understanding of the forest, and Milton, with his sharp observation skills, they each bring something unique to the table. And Grace, even though she's trapped, she's the one who comes up with this idea, inspired by the ancient oak. It shows how tradition can be enhanced by fresh thinking.
Totally. And then there's the very special birthday. Periwinkle's trying to throw Milton a surprise party, but what gets me is how the entire forest community pitches in. The bees are making honey candies, crickets are providing the music, Butterflies are decorating with their colorful wings. It becomes this huge celebration, way bigger than anything Periwinkle could have done alone.
It highlights the power of diverse contributions within a community, doesn't it? Everyone brings their own special talents, and the result is something truly magical.
And it's not always sunshine and celebrations. The autumn sharing party tackles a much tougher issue. Food is getting scarce, and some families are struggling as winter approaches. But Periwinkle, she's so clever, she frames this whole sharing thing as a knowledge exchange. Like, you share your acorn recipes, I'll share my berry preservation techniques, and it all leads to this big sharing party in Morris Mole's elaborate tunnel system.
I love that she turns a potentially awkward situation into a positive community event. And this sharing of knowledge, not just goods, strengthens those community bonds even further.
Then there's the winter warming party. An early frost hits, and all the little critters are in danger. Periwinkle scrambles to organize this warming party in an old rabbit burrow. But old Gregory Toad, remember him? He's all grumpy at first, wants to stay in his own little corner.
But even he ends up joining in. It shows that in times of crisis, even those who seem resistant can step up and contribute to the community. Everyone has something valuable to offer.
Let's shift gears a bit. What about the theme of individuality and acceptance? There were some great stories about that too, right? Like the smallest helper.
Oh, definitely. Periwinkle, being the smallest pixie, she feels kind of useless during spring cleaning. But then she realizes that her size makes her perfect for these tiny, detailed tasks like polishing dewdrops and fixing delicate spider webs.
It's a great reminder that every contribution matters, no matter how small. And sometimes being different is actually an advantage.
Absolutely. Then there's Leo's dancing lessons. Poor Leo, the lizard, he's so self-conscious about his dancing, especially compared to all the fancy spring festival dances. He just feels like he doesn't belong.
But with help from Periwinkle and Ellie the grasshopper, he discovers his own unique style. Rock sliding, I think they call it.
It's not just about Leo accepting himself either. His unique style ends up inspiring all sorts of new dance forms throughout the forest. It's about how embracing individuality can actually spark creativity in everyone.
The Firefly Festival features Flicker, a little firefly whose light, well, it flickers. It's not this steady glow like the other fireflies.
And he feels so inadequate because of it. But Periwinkle helps him see that his unique flickering is perfect for the moonflowers. They even create a new festival tradition around it.
It's a beautiful illustration of how what we see as weaknesses can actually be strengths, right? And finding that perfect place where you fit in, where your unique qualities shine.
Precisely. And then we have the Midnight Orchestra. Remember Maestro the cricket? Everyone calls him Squeaky because his chirping is a bit off.
Yeah, but with Periwinkle's encouragement and some help from other unconventional musicians like Freddie Frog and those humming moths, they create this incredibly beautiful, unique music. It's like a celebration of all their differences.
It really emphasizes how the most amazing things can come from blending unique voices and perspectives. A real testament to the power of diversity.
Okay, how about some examples of problem solving and innovation? I'm thinking of the butterfly ball. Remember the 3 butterfly groups? Monarchs, painted ladies, and swallowtails, all arguing over how to decorate for their big ball.
Ah, yes, a classic clash of styles. But Periwinkle steps in and helps them see the beauty in each of their ideas. In the end, they blend all the flowers, creating this stunningly diverse and inclusive ball.
It's a win-win, right? It shows how incorporating different perspectives can lead to much richer, more creative solutions.
Exactly. And speaking of creative solutions, remember the drought. Periwinkle's ingenuity really shines in this one. She uses tulip petals to collect dewdrops and then mobilizes all the tiny creatures to form this water conservation team.
It's remarkable how she tackles this big, scary drought with such a clever, collaborative approach.
And the moonflower mystery. The moonflowers aren't blooming because they're getting choked by all these morning glory vines. But instead of just hacking away at the vines, the creatures, both nocturnal and daytime ones, work together carefully to separate them, even making a new trellis for the morning glories.
It highlights the importance of observation and thoughtful solutions. Don't just react, understand the problem, and find a way to benefit everyone involved.
And lastly, there's the underground mail service. Morris Mole wants to create this underground postal system, but mapping those tunnels and keeping the mail dry are big challenges.
But with Periwinkle's suggestions for scent markers and ventilation, and Virvol's brilliant idea to use waxy leaves as waterproof envelopes, they figure it out.
It shows how effective solutions often involve working with nature's patterns, not against them, and meeting both practical needs and emotional needs, like staying connected with friends and family.
Okay, let's talk about stories that focus on learning and growth. The Lost Little Squirrel comes to mind. Periwinkle helps Skippy, this adventurous squirrel, find his way home after he wanders too far. She uses her knowledge of the forest paths and even communicates with other animals to guide him.
It's a simple story, but it shows how getting lost can be a learning experience, and how having knowledge and being willing to share it with others can be so valuable.
Then there's Leo's swimming lesson. This time Leo's scared of water. But with gentle encouragement from Molly Mallard and her little duckling Devon, he overcomes his fear and learns to swim.
It's about the power of supportive mentorship, right? And the unexpected friendships that can form when we help each other.
The broken butterfly wing is another one that focuses on adaptation. Bella Butterfly breaks her wing and can't migrate south for the winter. But the forest community rallies around her, helping her create a cozy winter coat. She ends up discovering the beauty of winter and inspires others to do the same.
It's about turning a limitation into an opportunity, and how community support can help overcome challenges, even leading to unexpected discoveries and new perspectives.
The fairy ring is an interesting one. Periwinkle wishes for endless adventures, which, of course, causes a bit of chaos in the forest.
A classic case of be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. But through all the craziness, she learns the importance of balance. Adventure is great, but so are peaceful moments.
It's about appreciating both sides of life and finding that sweet spot in the middle.
And finally, there's The Secret of the Whispering Tree. This ancient tree holds the memories of the forest, and Periwinkle learns to listen to its stories. She helps others remember their history of cooperation, which helps them resolve conflicts in the present.
It's a beautiful illustration of how remembering our past can guide us in the present, and how shared stories can help build stronger communities.
There are a couple more stories that I want to touch on just briefly. The Mischievous Gnome features Nelson, a gnome who loves causing trouble with his pranks, but Periwinkle helps him channel that mischievous energy into fun, creative games for everyone.
It shows how what might seem like bad behavior can actually be a cry for attention or a way to express creativity, and it's about finding constructive outlets for those impulses.
And the Great Acorn Race tells the story of Felix Fieldmouse, who loses his prized acorn during the race, but he quickly adapts, using a hickory nut instead. He teaches everyone that setbacks can lead to creative solutions and that sometimes being different is an advantage.
It's about being resourceful and flexible, right? And seeing the positive side of unexpected challenges.
The Firefly Lantern Race showcases Periwinkle's observation skills. She notices that fireflies are drawn to certain flowers and glow brighter near them. This helps the contestants decorate their lanterns with the right flowers, resulting in this amazing glowing spectacle.
It's a lesson in working with nature, not against it. Understanding and respecting natural processes can lead to much better results.
And we can't forget the Golden Dewdrop, where Periwinkle discovers this magical dewdrop and becomes a student of the Guardians of Dawn. She learns about the balance of moisture and the interconnectedness of everything in the forest.
It's about seeking deeper knowledge and understanding the intricate connections in the natural world. There's so much more beneath the surface.
The Big Storm shows the strength of community. The hawthorn trees face this fierce storm, but they use their unique skills to protect each other. They create spider silk nets and leaf channels for drainage, working together to weather the storm.
It's a reminder that we're stronger together, and that facing challenges as a community can make us even more resilient.
And lastly, there's the Crystal Cave. Periwinkle and Luna Moth navigate this magical maze by using their unique strengths. Lena reflects light with her wings, and Periwinkle solves problems with her quick thinking.
It shows how different abilities can complement each other beautifully, and how partnership and collaboration can lead to amazing achievements.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear that the Adventures of Periwinkle Fae is much more than just a collection of bedtime stories. It's full of these little nuggets of wisdom about life, community, and everything in between.
And the fact that it was co-authored by an AI adds another layer of intrigue, doesn't it? It makes you think about the future of storytelling and the potential AI in creative fields, just like Firesmith discussed in his note on using AI.
Absolutely. These stories are like these little bite-sized lessons, easy to understand, but also really profound.
Which story resonated most with you?
That's a tough one. I think I'm drawn to The Smallest Helter. It's a great reminder that everyone has something to offer, no matter how small they might feel.
That's a good one. It makes me think, how can we apply these principles from the Enchanted Forest to our own lives? How can we be more collaborative, embrace our differences, and find creative solutions to challenges?
And here's another question for you. Can an AI-authored story, like those in this collection, still teach us valuable human lessons? It's something to ponder in, isn't it?
Definitely. Food for thought.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Enchanted Forest. Keep exploring, keep learning, and you never know what magical lessons you might find along the way.
Until next time.